I am now going to talk about selecting investments. And I'm going to focus primarily on selecting investments inside of your 401k, just because for most of our clients, that is where the bulk of the assets are in their 401k, 403b, in their work retirement plan. So quite often in the work retirement plans, the 401ks are going to offer investments that are called target date funds. And what they're mutual funds. And again, a mutual fund is a gathering of a lot of different stocks and a lot of different bonds in one fund so that you can get diversification throughout a lot of companies as opposed to putting all your eggs in one basket. I always talk about with Enron. Everyone thought Enron was the greatest stock in the world, especially the employees at Enron. They were putting all their money right into Enron. It was the greatest stock. And then all of a sudden, overnight, one night, the company tanked, went bankrupt, and went under. And those people lost so much money. So diversification is really important. So these target date mutual funds are a combination of actually a lot of different mutual funds. So you're getting a lot of different mutual funds in there, and within each of those mutual funds, you're getting a lot of different stocks, a lot of different bonds. They're great diversification. And you pick them based off of the day of your projected retirement. So you can sort of project out of when you think your retirement would be, and you could go for that. The great news about these funds is they become automatically more conservative over time as you get older. And that's the idea, is usually your investments should get more conservative as you approach retirement. The bad news about these funds is if you compare them to the investment performance of other funds, they don't always perform the best. However, I'm going to tell you, if you are the type of person that just wants to put your money in something and then just not think about it, this is the place to put it, are in these target date funds. A very close relation to that are what are called lifestyle funds. And they usually have similar names to the target date funds, but they'll be called things such as the growth fund or the conservative fund or the balanced fund. And these are also similar, where they combine a lot of different mutual funds, but these do not become more conservative over time. So these are good if you just want a nice balance of several different mutual funds, but they're not going to become more conservative over time. So every, at least 10 years or so, you may want to go in and go to the next more conservative portfolio. This one, they don't have as great of performance as probably what you're going to see in other funds. However, again, if you're the type of the person that just wants to leave it and you don't want to have to worry about making emotional bad decisions at the wrong time in the stock market, this is the way to go. If you're wanting to do a little bit more work on your own, then what you can do is look at the other investment options that you have available in your work retirement plan, your 401k. I often like to look at, they will often show the funds and they will show the 3 to 5 year performance. I usually like to look at that as opposed to the 1 year, just because the 3 to 5 year gives a little bit better of an indication. And when you choose those funds, you need to have diversification. So again, most of our clients are 45 and under. And so for those clients, I usually recommend that you do about 80% in stock funds and 20% or even maybe less in some of the bond funds. The stock funds are going to be the funds, a lot of times for the 401k platforms, they have them divided out with large cap, mid cap, small cap, international is usually how they split those out. Large cap is just a fancy word for talking about a large company. Mid cap are mid-sized companies, and small companies. And it's good to have money in all of those allocations. So I recommend usually to have more in large cap than mid and more in mid cap than small, so that allocation will go down within each of those allocations. So you want to find a large cap fund and put a nice strong allocation in it, put a bit less in a mid cap fund, and if available, a small cap fund. Sometimes they combine the mid and the small cap funds together. Also then an international. Right now I'm recommending for people to have a 15 to 20% allocation in international. Now, notice that international is different than emerging markets. Right now, I'm not recommending for people to put much money in emerging markets. Those include a lot of Latin America, a lot of China, and that's right now in the economic conditions. I don't recommend that. Whereas the international funds have more Europe, developed Europe, in the funds, and so that's where I'm recommending for people to consider that area right now. If you do a bond fund in your portfolio, an all over well diversified bond fund, so there will often be like a total bond index fund in your options, in your plans. So if any of you want specific recommendations on this, you could take a quick scan or a shot of some of the funds that are in your 401ks, and we'll be happy to look at those and make some basic recommendations there. Also, so if your money is outside of the 401k, the same is true. Diversification is very important. Making sure you have large, mid, small cap, international stocks, maybe a bit of bonds. All of those things are very, very important.